You are now about to witness the strength of street knowledge.
From the words of Ice Cube himself, hip-hop's most influential rap group of all time really does come straight out of Compton. The popular film about the group, respectively named Straight Outta Compton, follows their beginnings in the Los Angeles ghetto of Compton to their rise and successful careers as gangster rappers. The film, released in 2015, is a nearly 3-hour biopic set between the years of 1986 to 1995. It is directed by F. Gary Gray and co-produced by Ice Cube, Dr. Dre, and Tamika Woods Wright, among others. The main characters of the film are
MC Red, Ice Cube, and Eazy motherfucking E.
Dr. Dre is at the dope. DJ Yella. The two major side characters are Suge Knight and Jerry Heller. The film was met with massive critical and commercial success upon its release, with DJ Yella even saying in an interview, quote, "It looks better than I thought. It looks great." And many other people will agree that Straight Outta Compton is a great movie. From a general standpoint, it has character, drama, heart, action, suspense, key themes, and tells an entertaining story. But is Straight Outta Compton a good historical film? Does this movie tell the truth about most of the events portrayed? And is it really that important for a historical film to be accurate as possible? And most importantly, can this movie actually be considered to be a historical film? Right off the bat, yes. Straight Outta Compton depicts a major thing in the 20th century history, this thing being N.W.A. In brief, N.W.A. changed hip-hop forever. And hip-hop is not to be underestimated in terms of sales. According to Nielsen Music's latest report on sales, hip-hop is the first genre to overtake rock, which has been relevant for a much longer time. In the US, hip-hop leads music sales with 25.1% compared to the 23% that rock has. Other than pioneering the hip-hop genre, N.W.A. has their own place as a major influence to the music industry and to society, with their work being constantly relevant since 1986. Each individual member of the group has had their own impact on the world, too. Eazy-E, who died in 1995 from HIV, left a legacy that will never be forgotten and is known as the original gangster rapper. Ice Cube has gone on to make more music and became a major figure in film. And Dr. Dre is now one of the richest musicians in the world. He sold beats to Apple, which was the largest deal in the company's history, and he also signed and supported some of the other biggest names in hip-hop, like Snoop Dogg, Tupac, Eminem, 50 Cent, and Kendrick Lamar. N.W.A. were also the first artists to become mainstream by rapping about their experiences and tales from the ghetto of Compton, bringing public attention to the communities of the American society that the media never covered. The term gangster rap was given to their music, but Ice Cube said that they never really wanted to put up a production and call themselves gangsters. They just wanted to tell the truth and make their way in life. Quote, "We actually called it reality rap because it reflected what we were going through. We felt backed into a corner and that nobody cared about our situation and that our only weapon was our music." Ice Cube said this to Mixmag in 2015. And their music truly was their weapon. Their first album, Straight Outta Compton, reached platinum status without a major tour and seemed unaffected by the controversy around it and the numerous music stations banning their song. It has since reached triple platinum and was one of the first major records to have the parental advisory label on it. It was also met with critical success and was acknowledged for the production sounding of its time. Dr. Dre's music, though crafted through a computer, was on par with the most skilled artists of rock and roll, and Ice Cube's lyrics showed that he was a very talented and unorthodox poet without any formal training, proving that hard work brings success and that artists can come from a place like Compton. This undoubtedly inspired other African Americans to break barriers and express themselves in rap, a major step forward in civil rights at the time. They especially used their music to send out a message. Infamously, their song "Fuck the Police" garnered lots of attention, with the FBI even sending them a warning letter. This letter, however, got the assistant director of the FBI in trouble for getting into the business of censorship. So in a way, N.W.A. won that battle. The song's title became a major slogan of the LA riots in 1992, which started because of a video of police beating Rodney King. The treatment of King was like a reflection to what N.W.A. rapped about 3 years prior, proving the group's relevance to society. So yes, N.W.A. is a big deal, and there's no denying. The group's relevance to history is too much to argue against.
Man, shut up. Get comfortable. Let's go. Cruising down the street in my 6'4". Shit.
Back to the film, and let's just see how accurate the film really is. Right off the bat, you have to know the amount of material this film covers is huge. Telling a story of multiple figures with their own complex lives, weaved into one, over a span of 9 years, is a lot to do. Unlike a documentary, Straight Outta Compton had to have a linear narrative with characters in a film that is to entertain the audience, as well as trying not to fall fully into the realm of fiction. Reportedly, there was a 4-hour-long cut of the film, which was cut to 2 hours 45 minutes, so not everything could make it into the final picture. So instead of talking about what is not in the film, I'm going to tell you about what is in it and how accurate all of it is. At the beginning of the film, Dr. Dre gets into a fight and punches a man in a parking lot, where he is then arrested. Eazy-E bails him out and asks him to produce under his label in return. In reality, Dr. Dre was arrested for a series of unpaid parking tickets, something that would look much less thrilling on screen. The infamous Bye Felicia scene, where the group is having a fun time with booze and women, when Ice Cube kicks out one of the girls after her man comes looking for her, is all made up for entertainment's sake. The phrase, "Bye Felicia," is from places like Compton and was similar to "Talk to the Hand" in the 90s. Ice Cube used the phrase in some of his movies, so this scene was more for comedy than reality. An intense scene where the group performs F the Police against strict orders from the Detroit Police Department did actually happen, but not like in the film. The film depicts them performing the song as the show is shut down, where the boys are chased by the cops. According to Jerry Heller, who was their producer, they were arrested later that evening when they went to meet some girls in a hotel lobby. The movie shows the group members at odds with each other near the final act, but it did not stress the major feud between Dr. Dre and Eazy-E enough. This rivalry played a major role in parts of Dre's and Eazy's solo career. The film shows Jerry Heller seeking out Eazy-E to start a label, but in reality, it was Eazy who actually sought out Jerry. The movie shows that Dre set up Eazy-E by getting Suge Knight and his thugs to beat Eazy-E up into releasing Dr. Dre for Ruthless Records. In real life, Dr. Dre denies setting up Eazy, with Suge Knight doing this all on his own. Eazy-E is also shown to have lost his home, all because he continued to work with Jerry Heller. It is said that Heller had no part in this help. From what is displayed, these are the only things that were really altered for the film's sake. Yes, even things like N.W.A. getting harassed by the police, Ice Cube smashing priority. Yes, even things like N.W.A. getting harassed by the police, Ice Cube smashing Priority Records' office with a baseball bat, Dr. Dre's brother's death, Suge Knight torturing a half-naked man with his dog in the studio, and Dre and Cube making things right with Eazy-E before his death. It all happened. There were definitely some things missing, but not everything could be documented in a film like this. Jerry Heller was displeased with his portrayal, calling the film a very hurtful movie. He filed a lawsuit against those behind the film, but it was cancelled after his death in 2016. Suge Knight was also very angry with his portrayal, and in his fury, he murdered a man with his car, and has been imprisoned since. But this is a story about N.W.A., and as a film, Heller and Knight were portrayed as antagonists, something that every good story needs. They made the characters of N.W.A. much more compelling. Straight Outta Compton is a true historical film. It's a biopic that tells
or abetting in any rude, indecent, drunken, riotous, or violent conduct, or the use of any vulgar, obscene, or abusive language in a public place. Note also, the performance of the song, F the Police, will not be permitted. Refusal to abide by all the Detroit City ordinances will result in immediate arrest and forfeiture.
It's a biopic that tells the story of people that changed history forever. The movie informs us about the story of N.W.A., and the viewer is familiarized with the people and events depicted on screen. Due to the real-life versions of characters working on the film, we witness the truth about what happens in each scene. Unlike most historical pictures, which are based on documents that are based on events, Straight Outta Compton shows us what the characters experienced firsthand. This makes the movie sort of like a secondary source in many ways. Dr. Dre was initially reluctant to greenlight the project because he didn't want his true story being told. He finally agreed to make the film because he said the script was excellent. In the case of Straight Outta Compton, it is good that some things were altered for the big screen. For instance, most people would rather see Dr. Dre go to jail because he fought someone, not because of unpaid parking tickets. If the second, or true event was shown, it would have made the scene a lot more boring. And making this change didn't really alter the main narrative of the story. Changes like these are good for historical fiction, because it makes the movie better. And is better good? Yes. Yes, it is. The movie tells a great story, and when a viewer likes a movie more, they become more interested in its content. The audience will appreciate N.W.A. more after watching Straight Outta Compton, which is a historical film about influential people. The audience will appreciate N.W.A. more after watching Straight Outta Compton, something that every historical film about influential people should do. This is why Straight Outta Compton is a great historical film. It stretches minor truths in order to tell a better story. It doesn't portray the members of N.W.A. as perfect people, but as who they really were. And this is what makes you appreciate a film like this one. It makes you see the relevance and greatness of N.W.A. and is a perfect example for why a good and accurate film is one of the best ways to tell history.